I'm Chantal Pitts. I'm a multiracial artist who uses furniture as a medium. I like working with furniture as a medium because I like to express who I am. So a lot of my stuff is quite self-reflective, and I use furniture to sort of transcend like gender and race and culture to explain who the person that I am. One of the things I like to do is look on like Trash Nothing, the Nextdoor app. I just like the whole process of seeing, like giving things away, people who are giving things away, the journey to go and pick up the things. I've seen lots of places in Birmingham, around Birmingham, that I would never have gone to if I didn't go, look for items. And you just find really interesting things. So one of the things I found was like a child's bed. I was just sort of playing around with things like that. I found a little sort of TV stand. And I put it on its side just to put it in the studio, and then that gave me ideas, of sort of different shelters and things. So the objects themselves actually, I see myself as kind of working with the objects. I see an object that that I feel something for, and then I bring it in, and then I feel like we kind of work together to create a narrative or tell a story. When I saw the residency for the new art gallery in Walsall, I just felt really excited that the prospect of being able to have work in this gallery, because I came to see the Breaking the Mould exhibition. It was about women sculptors through the decades, and it was really inspiring, and it was really validating, and just the thought that I would potentially have work in the same gallery, it was really exciting. And then I came to see the Collis Bunger exhibition. He works with furniture as well, and it was just really interesting. I came to his talk, and I heard him talking about his process and things, and again, it was really quite inspiring, and sort of like to see what he did with the space, and then to have my own opportunities to be able to exhibit in the same kind of spaces and see what I can do with those spaces. I couldn't believe I got it, actually. I was so excited when I got it. And so there's two elements, actually. There's sort of working in my studio and then being aware of the space where the work's going to be in. I've been working with the staff at the gallery, so to keep that in mind, to measure things and see how big they're going to be, which is something that I've not had really the opportunities to do before. There's been a few artists that have really kind of inspired me, and that I've found their processes really interesting. One of them is Jenny Odell. She did the Bureau of Discarded Objects, and she had people bringing in objects and then talking about their relationship with them. It could just be a cheap pair of glasses and where they bought it and why they don't want it anymore and things, but it kind of gave the object's personality. So I found that quite interesting, to sort of give the object its spotlight just for a moment. But I also really love Louise Bourgeois. I mean, I've liked her work for a long time, and it's more the processes that she goes through. She went through a lot of therapy, and then she expresses a lot of her relationships with her mom and her dad and her history. And I just think it's really sort of validating, really, and to be able to sort of delve into your past and use therapeutic methods to be able to sort of into your work, to be able to create something but also resolve things in your own life. And also Doris Salcedo, she works a lot with furniture, and a lot of her work is really quite powerful. She makes sort of quite big statements about society and things, just using furniture. And I think that's one of the things that sort of really made me think about the power and the impact that furniture can have in artwork. So I started working on ideas, thinking about what shelter means to me. And so it was quite surprising, actually, because, initial thoughts were just sort of like bus shelters, or even you put like shelter into Google, and you see sort of those like wildlife shelters, like if you're in the middle of nowhere, and things that you can make. And then I thought, like, what does shelter actually mean to me? I actually got an eviction notice while I was doing my master's degree, because I lost my work during COVID. That made me feel really insecure, and so there's that sort of whole sort of weight kind of sort of over me now, sort of thinking about the insecurity of like private rented accommodation. Then I got broken into, and so then that makes the home feel a little bit less safe. And then there's all the sort of the internal sort of things going on with like my children and things, getting ready to leave home, and sort of the dynamics are going to change. And so like when I thought more about shelter, actually, it was quite kind of unstable and a little bit insecure, which surprised me actually, and it kind of brought up quite a lot of emotions in me, because when looking at what shelter means, you can shelter somebody from something. It doesn't have to be a physical space. And then I was thinking, what do you shelter from? What is it sheltering? And so like there's all the different aspects. So when people are walking in, hopefully they will see a piece and get a their own individual reading from it, as well as the sort of the description that I will be giving, and then move on and feel like they're sort of going on a journey. I want it to be like a story where they can go on a journey and discover maybe even something about themselves, and something about me as well. It's been fantastic having, like, say, almost 5 months, so 4.5 months, to really develop ideas. I thought I was going to be making like just one piece, but then all these ideas started flowing, and they felt connected. So rather than sort of picking one of the ideas and then thinking I'm just going to sit with that one, they felt like they belonged together. So it's been really nice to kind of have that option of sort of putting things aside, sort of working on things, seeing how they work together, thinking about how they're going to connect with materials or fabrics and things. So I've ended up with a bunch of sculptures that's become like an installation. I've entitled it Aspects, because it's different aspects of the idea of shelter, mostly kind of internal shelters, all those sorts of things that go off inside, and how you kind of shelter yourself from danger or potential danger or people's gaze, that kind of thing. So yeah. It's been a journey, like I said before. Like personally, it's been a journey. So I've gone through all kinds of emotions. I've been really lone, depressed. I've been a little bit lonely at times, but all because of the whole idea of shelter. It's very much been a therapeutic journey. So I think therapy, and I think this is one of the reasons I like Louise Bourgeois so much, is just that sort of whole idea of using art as a therapy, without it being therapy, if you like. It allows for therapeutic processes to go on while you're working, rather than it being a deliberate, like, I need to deal with this aspect. Although that's kind of what's happened with this, is it has led me to deal with that aspect of my life, concerning the whole idea of shelter and the things that's been going on internally. Yeah. One of the things that I like with sculpture in particular is that it is multifaceted, and you can look at it from different angles. So I like the idea of people spending time with the piece, but also sort of asking questions about what each aspect might mean. Might mean to them as well, so hopefully some people will be interested in what I mean, but I think because it's furniture, they will have their own relationship, their own sort of feelings. I think a couple of people that have seen the work, they've thought some things have been a little bit dark, or I don't know, they've just had different ideas of what they perceive, and I'm quite interested to find out what kind of things that other people will read into it. So they kind of become a piece of on their own, and they will tell their own story now. So I've put my input and my viewpoint, and now they're going to kind of stand and speak for themselves. I selected this table as a place for people to come round, so that they can discuss maybe outside in the charitable work that they do, but also to be able to just sit in the space. I particularly like this table. I found it again on Trash Nothing, so it's that in itself was a journey, being able to talk to the lady that I got it from. One of the reasons I liked about it is the things that I liked about it was the feet of the table, because that's kind of like an animal, so there's an element of kind of pets in there, and just that whole sort of it's got age, so it's had lots of conversations around it already. So again, this has got stories that it could tell, you know. And the chairs in particular, two of the chairs that have got the arms, the shape of the arms just look like actual arms. So there's something sort of personable about them. And that kind of led me to the idea of putting the clothes on them and kind of making them personalities, because they felt like they already had personality. It's kind of almost like seeing them without anybody sitting in them is kind of like seeing a conversation with myself, or conversations with myself, which is really interesting. So yeah, I decided to do the fish, partly because the exhibition is it's turned out like a street. It's got like a kind of an idea that partly a journey, you know, but all the different aspects of like a street, the houses, you know. And then I was thinking, like, with the table, how can I kind of tie this into the idea of shelter? And one of the things that I think about is, like, you know, you have a pond in your back garden, or maybe there's like a local pond in a piece of communal ground or something. And I've made a fountain to go with it as well. I've put 9 fish on the table, 8 orange fish and 1 black fish, and apparently it's supposed to be good luck to have 8 orange fish and 1 black fish. So I just thought, hopefully it'll bring me luck, but also maybe bring luck to the people that are sat around talking and enjoying the space.